Hello everyone, welcome to another horrific review. No boxes to open tonight, so I may as well talk about a movie. Um, I watched this one off the cuff, and it actually took me 2 nights to watch it, just with time and stuff and work and all that good stuff. So didn't get the full experience, but all in all, fun movie. Now apparently this is the first of a trilogy. This is one of these ones I've seen clips of, but I can't remember it. Watching back in the day. Uh, Funny, apparently there's a whole fallout over because it was written by a feminist, and then the studio changed it and all that kind of good stuff. And it was meant to be a parody, and then they tried to take it seriously, and then made it more of a parody. So there you go. There's the backstory in that. It took me 20 seconds to read. Just a bit of an interesting filler. But we'll start off. We're in this suburb in America type high school. These 30-year-old high school students, because um, doing their sort of things. And straight off the bat, we get boobies and bums, and it's all great. Just setting the scene for what type of movie it's going to be. Real sort of slapstick, not taking himself too seriously. God, I miss the 80s. Everything's so super serious now, and must send a message, must educate people, must not have any fun whatsoever, must preach stuff. And it's just remember back in the day when movies were just daft, and all they were interested in was getting people to sit down and enjoy them and pay money. But there you go. So yeah, this is a like major sexual overtones all over it, which is funny because they're written by a feminist, but I suppose not a modern one. Back then, sexuality was empowering, from the swinging 60s, still carried on to the 80s, that sort of thing. But there we go. We're introduced to the characters sort of in high school, so the whole idea is obviously Trish is not the main character, but a main character. It does a weird thing, it splits into two parts. Hey Chris, 80s movies over the top. Yeah, and that was the whole idea. Just be over the top, loud, daft. Everyone's there to have a bit of fun and hopefully make some money out of it. That was basically it. Especially in the horror genre. If you look at the 80s horror movies, especially with the prosthetic effects and stuff, just I mentioned the House series again. Absolutely bonkers. Like the second one, the first one had a horror like jump scare, frightening element to it, but the second one just went all like daft and was just a pure comedy, and that was great. And a lot of these movies, like now, don't forget, you did have like serious movies as well thrown in there, but generally it was just fun times. That's all everybody was interested in. But we'll have Trish. She's her parents are away for the weekend, and then we'll meet the creepiest neighbor. First saw him, they call him Mr. Constant, and he looks about 12. And he's I'll help you. One of them type, like, it makes your skin crawl. Even I'm from like a couple of decades away on a TV screen, I'm going, oh, the guy really played the character well. But he's just a side character, that was the thing that hammed him up as much as the villain. And they just made it fun. But we'll hear over the radio that Russ Thorne has escaped from a mental institution. And that's your premise, you kind of right, we know where this is going. And no sneaky stuff is just right in there. The thing is, the first half of this movie is slow paced, yet there's about 8 kills in it. It's a strange combination. So we get our first kill less than 10 minutes into the movie. I think they're at the school grounds, and there's this lady. She's a telecoms engineer. She's up repairing something anyway. And of course, the high school students. Oh, would you ever date a younger boy? And all the cheesiest lines. That here's the thing: they're never going to succeed, and that was the whole fun of it, But the fact that brought up the courage to go and try and ask and be all suave and just look ridiculous, that was it. But this is the middle of the day. She goes by the van, opens the van door, and gets dragged inside. Now, this was her van. That was the whole point. It wasn't his van. He didn't deck out a super specified serial killer van. So the way they had this is if it was super soundproofed. Now he's killing her. She's screaming. She's actually banging against the back window, and these boys are walking past, not hearing a thing. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? And then his weapon of choice, you see it in the trailer poster and stuff, is a drill. Now it's not like a handheld pneumatic. It's a flipping like one of them jackhammer types. I didn't know batteries were that strong in the 80s. Um, I was just yeah. So he's got this super powered drill that he uses as a sword, a spear, a bludgeon. He uses it for opening the door. No, this is the Swiss Army knife of serial killer devices. It's absolutely bonkers. But yeah, we'll see this repair lady, and she's the first kill. And she's banging and stuff, and nobody's hearing her in broad daylight in the middle of a school playground, and he's drilling through her and stuff, and yeah, no blood drips outside. And the acting, this is the thing, it's the hammiest acting you can imagine. And the kill scenes, they do the polite, oh no, and then let the serial killer kill him. Like nobody fights back. Or runs, you know what I mean? They do their little run. He goes about the snail's pace chasing them. I think I talked about this before, especially if it was film media. They have to do that. There's no way you can run at normal speed in front of a camera because you just miss it. So that's why the whole, you know what I mean, the horror run where you've got the person being chased and they're tripping over everything and it's all super slow speed and the stalking serial killer coming at them. It had to be done that, or else you just see a load of blur on the screen. When you understand, like even back then, we didn't understand the mechanics of it, but now more so that we look back in the medium, we know what digital media can do. There was a magic to it, you know what I mean? It was hammy as hell. The acting was terrible, but they had to sort of be like that. There's none of this action flick now, you know, super duper, where people get trained by martial artists for 6 months before the movie. There's none of that stuff, and all done on the green screen and digitally edited afterwards, you know. And while this stuff looks good, you know, modern stuff, I mean, there's a magic about these older movies because they had to do this all physically and practically. And they're, if you look at the cameras back in the day, they're huge things, absolutely huge hunking things. And they're doing these scenes like inside of a van and outside of a van. And it's all done because this was only a couple $100,000 to make. It only cost a couple $100,000 to make, like 3.6 million when it was first released. And it's still, you know, still obviously making money today. But there you go, there's how low the budget was. Even in today's term, that's a low budget for a movie. And they're doing it with all this stuff. It's just funny to see. There's a weird thing happens in the school at the same time. This new girl called Valerie joins, and Trish, the main character, is going to invite Valerie to the slumber party, and then one of the other girls starts slagging her off. She over, you know what I mean? It's the mean girl sort of thing. And this is where the story becomes two stories, because you've got Trish's arc and Valerie's arc, and they kind of run in parallel until the sort of the last act. It's a bit of a strange one, but there you go. Then less than 5 minutes later, we get our second kill, and this is broad daylight in the school. So you've got one of the girls that was being mean. She forgets her book, and she goes back to the gym to get it, and he's waiting inside. And then we get this whole like chase scene through the lockers. And this guy that plays Roger, or sorry, Russ, you have down there are. He makes Ghostface look nimble. You know that whole Ghostface getting knocked about and stuff. This guy did it first, and he did a hammer, like the most on serial killer looking serial killer. There's no menace about this guy whatsoever. It's just hilarious. He doesn't speak until like near the end of the movie, but when he's running about the place, he just daft. But yeah, when she gets killed, she politely lies down and goes, And this whole scene, because she's doing it in front of the camera, and he's got the drill going, bzz, 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 just the kill. I think the kill took longer than the scene, and most of it was done off camera. Oh god, who gets killed next? I think a teacher gets killed. This guy gets about. For someone who's like so hammy and running about and not athletic, he can fairly get from place to place and wipe out people in no time. But yeah, we get that. She gets attacked. Then we kind of jump on the later on that night, and the girls are in the party, and of course they're rolling J's and they're drinking, and oh god, this scene just this is typical America. Jesus, she's making this stuff Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, right? So huge jug, thunk with the juice stuff, thunk with the water, and then a bag of sugar just thump like, oh god, my teeth just rotted looking at it. It's like that would make your eyeballs like shrink. When you'd be desiccated. Went to like half a bag of sugar, and she actually drinks from it as well. They pour a glass in the drink from it, and you're like, what the hell? We call that stuff screech, the powdered stuff, because it's absolutely rancid. Not a big fan of powdered drinks over here. We'll have cordials. Rums is obviously the ultimate British sort of equivalent, but it's a cordial, so it's a liquid form, and you obviously pour it in the bottom, you add the water. You can have various forms of either, but it's many years I've been a kid and through life, no one's ever thought about getting a bag of sugar on top of a sugary drink and thunking it in. I think that was the most horrifying part of this movie, was just that. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? But and me, I have about 6 chins here, and I put on weight as well, just from looking at them. Doing that, I'm like, oh my god. And then we have this scene. They're doing their stuff in the living room and that, and they're getting set up. And the boys, they said no boys, but of course the boys find out, 2 of them are sneaking around, and they do a striptease. And I don't think it's meant to be a striptease. No, I mean, they're meant to be playing, but it's still as a striptease in front of the camera. And of course, they're all taking their clothes off in front of each other. The boys are watching through an open window with open curtains, because that's how things roll. Absolutely bonkers. That's a slumber party. Everyone just gets naked in front of each other, just essentially, and then they put on their skimpy pajamas, and then they sit down and don't really do very much. That's I miss the 80s. Oh, please come back. I know anything they've tried doing loads of like 80s theme stuff, and just a absolutely pale in comparison to the actual 80s themselves. Oh my word. Such days, such innocence. But yeah, and the boys are like going, yeah. And of course we'll have the obligatory go put the rubbish out, or a dog knocks over a rubbish bin, go put it out. Did you lock the door? Dun, 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 all that kind of stuff. Oh my word. No, just that this is how the serial killer's getting into the house sort of thing. Now, I'm not going to remember the names of all these bloody characters. There's a boyfriend. One of them has a boyfriend, and he wants her to sneak off for a bit, and she's on the phone. And it's the old kids won't get this today, but back in the day when the phone used to be tied to the wall, you had extensions and all ran off the one phone line. I was like up market in my house when I got a second phone line, but then I was working part time, and the money I used, I paid for the second phone line, and that was when I got the internet. But it worked as a phone line as well. But you could, if you put extension around the house, somebody else could just pick up the phone and listen in to your conversation. And yeah, that used to happen, a lot of raking about and stuff. But yeah, she's on there, but her friend, they say, "Come on out, babe." One of these not much upstairs type. And then the girl's taking the mick out of him. She goes back out again. What happens next? Yeah, she goes out. They the kiss and cuddle in the front seat, and then he wants to take her back to the house because even though they all know she's waiting to meet him, they didn't go into that house. They're going to go away. She goes out, makes up an excuse, but they know what she's up to. Ha, yeah, bring back some beer. She goes back to the car and he's got his head cut off. I tell you, this is the most versatile drill in history. Like, middle of the street, and the guy just sits perfectly, So no blood or anything, just this drill's so good, just like head off, and then able to, like the subtle cut by katana, the martial artists masters can cut through something, but not actually show signs. This is what he can do with this drill, head off and still stays in place until she gets back in the car and knocks it off. And then she starts honking the horn, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. The boys go inside, and like I said, I watched up that point the first night, and then I had to stop and come back last night because sorry, just got a massive commute at the moment to working back. I was just absolutely sapping my energy. So I'm not getting to watch like full movies at once now. It's plus I was doing other videos, but that's my excuse. They land in the house, and then they decide that they're going to close the windows. Well, thanks for stopping by, Chris. This is what makes these live streams more interesting. It's okay me sitting here talking to a camera, but pop in, say hello. If you've seen the movie, talk, give us your thoughts on it. This is what it's all about. That's why we do the live streams, because it's always good to have interaction. Obviously, we'll be hanging out on Saturday, which be a lot more fun, and see what the dinner plates and the arrow catchers and all that good stuff gets up to. Be a laugh. But yeah, as with anybody else, if you happen to see me online, jump on, say hello. It's all good. If you agree with what I'm talking about in the movie, cool. If you don't agree, tell me why. We can have a chat about it. Obviously, as long as you don't be an absolute tit, it's all good. Everything here is done in good nature because life is too short. Life's really hard enough to be falling out with people over movies. I don't get the online culture at the moment. You didn't like this movie, therefore you're my hated enemy and must die. Yeah, because that makes sense, I suppose. But anyway, back to the movie where people are actually getting killed. Who gets the one that ran back inside gets caught in the garage. No, someone else got killed. Went back to close the door. This is where it gets a bit of a mess. Yeah, she gets caught in the garage, gets killed, stuffed away. Girl comes back. They run about it, and then they come up with this idea that the boys are going to split up and run two directions to get help. And this is the fun, the madness of the serial killer, because he's so hammy and slow and not good in his feet, but he can be everywhere. He's one of these bits that gets from A to B. But while this is going on, we've got this weird setup with Valerie and her younger sister, whose name I can't remember. Her younger sister's absolutely dick. Just overplaying the younger's, annoying younger brat sort of thing, even though they're both like in their 30s. I never looked up their actual ages, but it's one of those movies that got mixed reviews, so people either love it or hate it. It's just depends on your taste. But once again, check it out. Let us know what you think, and thanks for popping on. Really appreciate it. But yeah, they have this weird sort of half scene with Valerie and her younger sister, and her younger sister's wanting to go over to the party, and she's not because of the reindeer, and it's just so odd. But they're kind of interspace in this scenario along with the main party, and that's what makes it kind of dragged out a bit. I think they had to wrap that bit up quickly and had them in the house as well. It'd been more, being more fun. Maybe it's just to, bulk out the movie a bit. I don't know. I don't get the logic behind it. But yeah, they go from loving each other to hating each other in like the space of minutes. It was very weird dynamic because one minute they're all being pally and cozy and she's doing her hair and stuff, and then she's being absolutely hateful, and it's all like in the space of a night, This isn't like a long, showing a long standing relationship between two siblings. This is all like up and down, up and down. So the script's kind of jumbled. This isn't meant to be a take it seriously movie anyway, but I don't know what Valerie's character or younger sister's character added to this movie. If I'm honest, I don't know what that's kind of side plot. Her being the new girl in the school and being mean to her, and her having that separate scenes in the house. This would have just played out just as well with the main cast. Maybe add one more character, and just had it all focused on the house and the kills and the jump scares. Honestly, that's the bit that kind of makes this movie drag a bit. But hey ho, it doesn't last too long because once the killings get started, that it just all ramps up. Now the best bit, I missed that bit. I have right because the boys sneaked into the house. They're food, all that kind of stuff, and hanging out, and they'd ordered pizza. And back in the days, we can get like a whole thing of pizzas for like $6, which is like £3 back in the day. £3 you get like a whole stack of like full, not just like 18-inch pizzas. God, pizza wasn't a big thing back home. It was obviously fish and chips and Chinese takeaways. They were the two main staples back home. That was their kind of go-to. Pizza didn't really come along till later. It was there. You get like store-bought pizza, but actual pizzerias then become a thing to the 90s. And then it kind of took off, and then the chains come over, that kind of stuff. But we had kind of had our own thing. But it was always fascinating to watch American movies, and their whole culture of ordering in these pizzas and paying about £2. You're kind of like, bloody hell. Because even back in the day, that was, that was one meal, not enough for an entire house. But there you go. So the pizza delivery guy rings the doorbell. Well, the doorbell rings. Pizza delivery guy's propped up, and his eyes have been bored out. So this huge drill, is that precise? He can just go, quickly, and yet you see how slow it is because it's battery operated. I was like half expecting them to have a belt with like spare batteries, and drop them like magazines going clink, clink, So if you do that, I want percentage, by the way, for that idea. I want royalties. There you go. It's probably been done already. It's horror. If it's been thought about, it's been done in some movie or book. That's how mental this franchise is, but this genre is why I love it so much. So the pizza guy just falls in the door. The pizzas land perfectly to the side. This will be important later. And what do you do when a dead body? They scream and run about, and then they decide to bring the body in instead of pushing it out the door. So they end up bringing a dead body into the house and then locking everything and going nuts. And then that's where the idea of them running one out the back door, one out the side door to go and get help. That didn't work out too well. Spoilers, both get killed. It's a slasher movie. So that's what I mean. He goes after one, he runs into one. First guy runs out, he gets him in the bush, straight through him. And then he catches up with the other guy, but he doesn't kill him straight away. And the second guy ends up going back to the house doing all, help me. Somewhere in between this, another girl gets killed and shoved in the fridge. No, this is afterwards, sorry. One girl comes down, finds the other one that was being stuffed in the garage. Then she gets killed. Then another one goes and hides. Does he jump through the window? I think he either comes through the window because he kills one of the girls in the living room and he slices her throat. So normally does this drill decapitate you in one go, but you can also slice it like a razor, as well as punching at people's eyes and goring people and stuff. I want this drill because obviously I'd be able to do anything with it. But there you go, there was that. And then we'll get the two side plots converge together. So Valerie's sister sneaks over to the house. Valerie goes over to bring her back, and then they discover that Something's gone wrong. And then the sister's going around the house, everyone's vanished. And she opens the fridge, there's a body in it, but she doesn't look at it. Because she wants to drink a beer. And says, no. And it says, is it? Isn't it? Is it? Isn't it? But because obviously bodies don't fall over, neatly out. Once the weight, dead weight of a body, it just hangs there. And she is like, I don't know, she's about 5 stones soaking wet, just wee slip of a thing. But she's got the body strength, just the one hand to open the door with a dead body pressed against it and B, just push it back. God, I don't even have that strength anymore. Definitely not anymore, it doesn't work out. But yeah, even though it's working out and stuff, that would be a bit of a. And then eventually she opens it, screams, then we realise everyone's getting killed. More running about stuff. And then he's went from being in the house. Oh, that's what. Who else did they get involved? They got somebody else involved in this. I don't know whether it's a teacher or a neighbour or something. Oh, and creepy guy gets killed too. The David Content or whatever it was. He pops back and forward because they're trying to tease that he's a killer, but we've already seen the killer. So this guy's like completely innocent from the offset because I've already said who the escaped convict maniac is. We already know. So this guy's just there for shits and giggles, I guess. But yeah, he gets dispatched. And that's it. There's flipping loads of kills in this, but because it did that weird 2 plot thing, is what it kind of slows it all down. And yeah, 2 girls hide in a bedroom. He sneaks in through the window. One of them gets dispatched. The other hides. Then we get Valerie appear. Or is she going to hide again? We get a teacher or something appears because it wasn't Valerie. Somebody comes into the house who they've been on the phone to. And the killer's lying under a rug, pretending to be a dead body. She pulls it back, it's him, and he, the way he does it with the eyes, brilliant. She gets killed. Then he goes after the wee girl, the wee sister. Then Valerie steps in and she pulls out a poker, and then this thing becomes a saber, and they have a fencing match. It's like ching, 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 with a drum and a poker. What else? Yeah. She beats him, and then they do the thing where she does the correct thing in a horror movie. One of the things that one of my pet trope hates is the person that hits the serial killer once and then doesn't do anything, where the idea is to whack them around the head about 20 times and then another 20 times just to make sure, and then hit them again. And she does that, and you can actually see this thing as like rubber because it's actually she's whacking him with it. It's going doing. That was so cheesy. Of course, he's not dead. And more runabout. He comes after them, and then they go again. What did she pick up this time? Was it the poker? No, the other one goes down to the basement and discovers another body because he's been hiding bodies all over the place. Because he's got enough time to not just kill people, but go and hide them around strategically. So they jump out. So that's always good. And then one of the girls that was hiding, they have another fencing match. The other girl comes out with a machete. She chops a blade in half, cuts off his hand, and stabs him in the stomach. And he does this weird thing. He's looking at the pool, as if he's on the edge of a cliff, which you're like, it's bloody pool, mate. Calm yourself. But it was just camera angles, that's just nuts. That happens. He falls into the pool. Everyone does huggy kissy. Glad you're still alive. I think it's just her and the sister. Sorry, I'm just God, I watched this last night too, and I'm forgetting the plot. He does the jumping out of the pool thing. She stabs him, and then that's it. He gets killed, and then the movie just kind of stops. You hear the sirens in the background, and that's it. Yeah, and that was it. So apparently there's 2 more of these. I don't know if it's going to be the character of Russ Tom, because The only way, obviously, I'm not going to guess because it's out. People already know. But it'll be interesting to me. Will they bring him back? He's going to be one-handed, so they're going to attach a drill to the hand, or somebody else going to take up the mantle. Is there no worrying about plot, storyline continues or anything? We'll see. I'll probably end up doing it. I'll find the other two and I'll do them over the course of the week or so. There you go. That's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the few tangents, but it's late. I'm getting tired and stuff. My wee brain doesn't work as well as it used to. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. Do all the clicky typey stuff. Keep the date with the channel. Tomorrow we've got our next horrific tale by Dale Gibson. Saturday I'm guesting on the Dragonlance Saga channel, so I'll post a link for that. Apparently we have just been given community tabs, or we can post in the community, so I might stick one of those posts up, give it a test, see how it works out. I don't know what else is going to do over the weekend. I've not thought that far ahead, but we'll see how it goes. I'll try and poke Cameron, but get him to jump on. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. Until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.